Okay, I want to talk to you about one of the most powerful weapons that the government has in its arsenal. It's called the grand jury. Now, that might sound boring. You've heard of grand juries before, but chances are you don't really know what they are, how they work, and what they do. So I'm just going to give you a little snapshot. Now, the grand jury is supposed to be a safeguard, but in reality, it's often used by prosecutors to destroy lives, violate liberties, violate rights, and all kinds of horrible things. So, really quick, what is a grand jury? A grand jury is a group of ordinary citizens, usually between 16 to 23 people. They meet in secret to decide whether there is probable cause to charge someone with a crime. So it's not a jury that prosecutes anybody or convicts anybody. It's basically there to decide, yeah, there's probably enough evidence here to warrant arresting or trying to prosecute somebody or indicting somebody. But, but, but here's the problem. There's no judge, there's no defense attorney, no cross-examination. If a grand jury is deciding whether they're going to indict you, you're not even able to be there. You can't even make your own case. Only the prosecutor gets to present evidence, and they can show almost anything, including hearsay or stuff that would never be allowed in a real trial. Let's say you have a neighbor who doesn't like you. They can interview that neighbor and find out why they don't like you and use that to persuade a grand jury to indict you. A grand jury, there's this famous saying, a grand jury could indict a ham sandwich if the prosecutor wanted it. And that's true. That quote came from a New York judge, and it's not a joke. In the grand jury room, the prosecutor holds all of the cards. And here's the thing. Members of grand juries actually do have rights. They do have powers. Like they can subpoena witnesses, they can request documents, but chances are, if you're on a grand jury, the prosecutor isn't telling you that you have these rights. So most grand jurors don't even know. They just go with whatever the prosecution says. Now, here's the thing. Grand juries operate in total secrecy. The public is not allowed to attend. The press can't come in and report on it. And again, the accused person doesn't even get to testify unless the prosecutor allows it. And how often do you think that happens, right? Now, I want you to think about that for a second. You could be accused of a crime. A group of strangers hears a one-sided story, and boom, you're indicted. You're facing felony charges. Your name is in the news. Your life is turned upside down because of secret proceedings based on people who you don't know, can't see, can't speak to, and who are being manipulated by prosecutors, and you have no chance to defend yourself. Now, here's the thing. This secrecy was originally meant to protect innocent people from public shame if they weren't indicted. But today, it's nothing more than a shield for the government, not the individual. Prosecutors abuse grand juries in several different ways. All too often, they're used to punish dissent, to silence whistleblowers, or to even coerce someone into a plea deal. Federal prosecutors can convene a grand jury for months, even years. They can subpoena your emails, your text messages, your bank records, all without needing a judge's approval. They don't need a warrant for this stuff, right? They don't, it's just not something that they have to do. They can tell your friend, they can call your friends and family, they can grill them under oath whenever they want. And if someone lies, even by accident, even if somebody gets some facts wrong, they can be charged with perjury or obstruction, which makes people afraid to speak out. If it turns witnesses into targets and it pressures innocent people into taking plea deals just to make the whole nightmare, the whole ordeal stop. This is not justice. This is legalized extortion. Now, if you think that this only happens to the bad guys or to guilty people, I've got some prime oceanfront property in Idaho to sell you on the cheap. Hit me up. These prosecutors will target whistleblowers, like I said before, political activists, gun owners, journalists. All kinds of people have been dragged through these grand jury proceedings. And in a lot of cases, they weren't even really the target of the investigation, but they leveraged these grand juries to compel somebody to play ball. So let's say you're a Second Amendment activist. The feds are investigating someone you know. You get subpoenaed. You go in, they ask you questions to try to trip you up. And if you answer wrong, or if you invoke your rights too firmly, you might become the next target. That's how the system works. It's built on coercion and fear. And the scariest part, the prosecutors are never held accountable. So obviously, there's something wrong with this system, right? There's something wrong with this apparatus. This whole thing needs to be reformed in many different ways. Something's got to change because this is not how our justice system was ever supposed to be. And we, the people, need to be alert. Here's the thing: prosecutors do not fear consequences, but they should fear an informed public that knows how the system really works.